You leave me breathless. No frustrations. I hold my ears shut. I am a forest run.
Hello and welcome to Beer Night in San Diego. My name is Cody. Joining us through the internet, he's back, everybody. We've been waiting for this. I know you have been too. Tom is back on the show, his triumphant return.
Hello.
Brought that popcast attitude with that Darth. I can't say Darth Vader because we'll get sued.
I couldn't even do it. I was going to do something, but I can't. But the talking in this beer can's kind of fun.
Noah, your father.
I have so many questions.
Yeah. And of course, joining
The
us.
first question, who is Darth Vader? I don't get
And of course, joining us on the bottom square tonight, Noah is back, everyone. Excited to see Noah.
Woo, 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 woo. What's going on, everybody?
And
So nice to be
unfortunately,
here.
tonight we were missing one of the members. Mike, last minute, had something personal come up, so he was unable to make it tonight. And we're going to miss him dearly. But the three amigos right here, we're here.
Let's
We're
do
ready
it.
to go.
We're going to
because
drink all the best beers tonight just
That's
because
right.
Mike is gone.
We brought the craziest, Tom dropped off a Cantillon to each of us. I dropped off a bunch of super old barrel aged stuff that we never see, stuff that
That's
you
right.
never even get
Yeah.
our hands on. Tonight was the night where we all have a bottle of it, our own bottle.
And I just gave you guys my homebrew that I did for my, I think it was my carpet from my dorm room in college. That's where I got the yeast from.
Got
Yeah.
that
So, I mean,
Okay.
I harvested it. It sat for a couple of years, and then I gave you guys each Magnum bottles of it. So, yeah, it's going to be a good night tonight. Let's just say
Excited.
that for sure.
I'm worried about popping this cork. I'm going to probably have to replace my roof. It's going to shoot
I
straight
totally
through.
forgot. Cody, if you actually look in the package I gave you, there's a saber. So you actually have to saber the Magnum.
I was wondering why there was a pair of katanas in the box, but now I thought I just had to. I thought tonight was fight to the death night in San Diego, but luckily it's not.
It's a full experience.
Immersive experience. Like what is it? That Knights of the Round Table dinner show. What is that?
That's right. I think that would, right. What's like next to
Like medieval times?
Medieval
yeah.
times. There you go. Yeah.
But in Buena Park, right?
Buena Park. There you go. Right by
Yeah.
Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, you go get some good jams and then watch some dudes ram each other with all these, crazy rods on horses. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, Mike couldn't be here, but the three of us are here, and we're excited because we're going to be celebrating Beer Night in San Diego, ladies and gentlemen. We're excited to be here. Before we get started, follow us on Twitter. Tom, who is finally back on the show. It's so good to see him. You can follow him at Hoptology, at Tomcast Podcast, and at Mando_Vision. Still killing it each week with those pop culture shows. And if you haven't tuned in, you're crazy. You got to go check those out. Mike at Pint of Hoppiness, and at A Pint of Hoppiness. Noah at Stop Hop and Roll on Instagram and Twitter. And me at 3BZine on Twitter and at Beer Night in San Diego on Instagram. Tonight we're back. We finally got Tom here, and brand new Beer Night in San Diego episode. This week we're still doing the shows through remote for safety reasons, even though the three of us could technically, we could share a tent the way that we're living right now, technically.
That's true.
But
Very
because
true.
we're remote, we each chose our own beers like we have been doing recently. Not only we get to break down our contact and travel time, but we do get to showcase even more great beers that way. So who wants to start? I'm actually curious what before we got started, Noah said that he had a out of town beer. I'm curious what this is all about. Take us through that one.
Yeah, so what I am pouring right now and what I'm very, very excited to sip on is a beer from There Does Not Exist. There Does Not Exist is out of good old San Luis Obispo up north from us. And they do a lot of cool artwork and design and marketing with everything that they do as far as posting. But as far as the beer, it is a Kolsch style ale. It's called Sowing the Sun. As far as the ABV, it is 5%, but I'll show you guys, and I'll probably post a picture of it later. So all their can art is black and white. And also, if you check out their Instagram, merchandise, literally everything, it's black and white. That logo with the E, as far as with the line through it, is their logo. But it's really, really rad. And the 4-packs look cool when you pick them up. But we have a mutual friend as far as in Bergen
Mhm.
with There Does Not Exist, and I was really excited to try some of these beers. And they got dropped off a couple days ago. I was like, you know what? I think a Kolsch would be a perfect one to start off on the show. So that's what I am starting off with from There Does Not Exist out of Slow. So
Nice.
cheers.
Kolsch beer.
Yeah, and look at that too.
Now look at that crystal
Look how
clear.
clear. You can see my 2019 GABF
Yeah.
glassware all the way through.
Cody, I told you that the vaccine ruined his palate.
Yeah. We before we got on, we were talking about symptoms from getting the vaccine, and
True.
we
Yeah.
were wondering if the vaccine made you stay away from the hazy world. And then you start off with a Kolsch, and it's almost like we knew.
It's like you guys know me so well now.
It,
It's like
it
it's kind of
altered
crazy, huh?
like it altered your DNA and your taste buds.
Well, I'm wondering, if I got the first shot in the left arm,
Mhm.
but then on the second shot I asked for it in the right arm. I think that's what did me in right there. If we're being honest, I switched it up.
Yeah.
I kept the body guessing. You know what I mean?
Well, Tom did it. He got one in the left cheek or one in the right cheek.
That's right. And we're
couldn't- he
talking
couldn't-
his mouth cheeks.
Yeah. He couldn't chew for a month.
He went
If only
chipmunk
that
for a
were
little bit.
true.
Yeah, just drop it. Put the droplet straight into my eyeball. I want it to go right into my bloodstream as quick as possible.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I
It
had him
was-
do mine like that. It was like 28 days, like kind of like virus situation. I had like the rage
Oh,
virus
God.
Oh yeah, yeah.
swarming through me. It was radical.
Very cool. Very cool. I actually am going to talk to you guys about that in a second. But before, Tom, I do want to know what you opened because I couldn't recognize
yeah.
the can.
So I have an out of town beer too, guys.
Hey now.
But you can actually find this here locally for any of our local friends who want to check this one out.
Oh man.
This is from Made West. They're doing that that great the short-lived collaboration series, and this is the newest entry in that. They teamed up this time with Beechwood.
Ooh,
And,
ooh.
love
that's
that.
always attention-getting collaboration right there. It describes this beer. I'm trying to see if it has a name. I don't think it does. I think it's just short-lived series with Beechwood. But it's a West Coast IPA. It says delivering a fresh tropical fruit profile backed with sticky pine and resin. Heavily hopped
wow.
with Idaho 7 Cryo and Mosaic. This clear IPA is light in color, bold in character with notes of pineapple, peach, and mango.
Nice. That's another tie-in to Friendship at Bergen because Bergen's done some stuff with Made West, correct?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. They were part of the short-lived series, I think, last year.
Yeah, very cool. And how is that one tasting?
Oh, it's quite nice. I had one with dinner.
Oh, so this is your second. It's always good when you have a return trip.
Well, I wanted to make sure. I was pretty
Yeah.
confident, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. you
Mike
have
always
to
yells at
double
me.
check.
He yells at me that I'm doing homework when I do that, but I like to do a little pre-show prep, a little preparation, see what's going on in the glass before I just dive right in. You know what I mean?
I really
Exactly.
was just excited to try it. I couldn't wait.
Right.
But
By the
yeah, this is hitting shelves around town, so people can go pick this up. And
Nice.
it's very, very reasonably priced.
Vine and Vine
Love
pickup.
that.
Was there? I'm sorry.
Was that a Vine and Vine pickup?
It is at Vine and Vine, but it's also readily available at other locations.
Hey now, very cool. Very
Ooh,
cool.
okay.
Oh, hey, always give Joey the love because you can order online and
Mhm,
have it ready to go. Just pick it up. He'll throw it at your car. Just
mhm.
roll down the window. He'll chuck it at you,
Yeah.
and you're good to go.
I
He
do
does have a
love.
good arm.
He does.
Absolutely. He doesn't even have to walk outside. Just throws
Yeah.
it straight through the door.
He's warming up Paddock out there. Ready for this.
Paddock might need it. By the way, can I say I love that you're rocking the RIP Tiger hoodie and glass tonight, Tom.
I sure am.
I love that.
Yeah, I think we talked about it last time we were on the show. It's like so much has changed in the beer scene due
Mhm.
to the pandemic, and so many of my favorite places, unfortunately, have not made it to the other side of the pandemic. And Tiger will be one of the ones that I miss dearly.
Mhm. I know you and your wife both love Tiger, and I know that you were a
Totally.
frequent guest at a small bar when you were able, of course, as well. So yeah, two places that I know you held dearly, and all of us did as well. Gone, and also not
Yeah.
to. This is gonna. I don't want to shed tears on the show, but Carl Strauss La Jolla shuttering, which was Tom. That was a really big deal in Tom's life.
Big place, yeah.
Yeah, and
But
so-
on the plus side, if you want to look at the positive, Livewire is open again. So hey, we can go to Livewire.
absolutely. Kick up that jukebox, get the jams flowing, get the beers flowing.
So
Stay
track
on.
down BB and get him to go there. This is home away from home.
Ooh, did you actually, for like our pseudo news section, he did make an announcement on Facebook the other day. Did you see his Mike Beebe's announcement?
I don't think it did.
Apparently he's, you know how he's left San Diego and he's brewing elsewhere.
Mhm.
He just announced that he's leaving again, and now he's going to be brewing at a new place on the full East Coast. He's going to be completely across the country from San Diego now.
He's like a nomad brewer.
He really is.
Yeah.
He kind
He
of
just-
goes. He goes where the beer flows.
I like that.
Yeah.
That should be a T-shirt for Cody. I feel like if Cody walked into a bar or if Cody walked into a brewery and his shirt said, "I go where the beer flows," everyone would be like, "You know what? Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, let's get this guy a pint. Come on, let's go."
I need to trademark that and make that a shirt immediately before someone else does.
I think that's awesome. I go where the beer flows. We go where the beer flows.
Mhm.
Yeah, it could be endless. You know,
I'm doing it. I'll cut this out of the show so no one steals it from us.
we're gonna pause right now. We just have to do a quick little thing.
I need to go do some graphic design real quick. I'll be back in about 2 hours.
Exactly.
So the first beer I'm starting with tonight is definitely, I wouldn't say out of all of our wheelhouse, but it's definitely a new-ish thing. And I was like, interested. I was very interested in this, and I think you guys will be as well. So I got this, the brand new
Ooh.
Sun Drops Hazy IPA from Karl Strauss Brewing. It is their new 99 calorie, 5 grams of carbs, 0 grams fat. Has all the information on the side of this. 4% ABV hazy IPA. So it's super low alcohol, just barely cracking over the 4% mark.
Wow.
And it comes in the little Red Bull style cans,
Huh.
like a seltzer can.
Like a seltzer can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sexy.
And let me see what it says about this. It's a Sun Drops Hazy IPA is the first release in their Small But Mighty series, a collection of low-calorie beers that refuse to compromise on flavor. It's 99-calorie beer, teeming with juicy tropical fruit aromas, big notes of spritzy citrus, and hints of sticky pine. Plus, it has a soft and pillowy mouthfeel that you crave in a hazy. And here, I'll show you guys what the beer looks like. It definitely looks like your typical hazy beer. Has that cloud
Wow.
to it.
Great color.
And, and it everything on that description that they say is exactly what I would say. It's got that pillowy mouthfeel that I know we look for. A lot of people look for it in the hazy beers. It's also incredibly tropical, and the way they say spritzy citrus, I don't know how you do it in a beer like this, but it does. It almost tastes
Yeah.
like it's alive. Like there's something, not like there's it's alive like that, but like there's some life to it, some bubbles, some spritziness, like it, not like a seltzer even, but it like washes and cleans your palate away like a lot of hazies don't do. And it's definitely drinkable on like a nice hot day over the summer. Grabbing a couple of those, it would be a nice refreshing beer. The only thing about it that is a little new is having the hazy IPA at 4%, super low alcohol, and it's a little bit light, if you get my point. The mouthfeel,
Okay.
it's nice and soft, but there's definitely, if you tasted it, I think you guys would agree, there's like a lightness to the beer, to the actual body of the beer.
I mean, with that style, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, Cody, because I think you haven't had this yet either, Tom, right?
No.
Okay, so Cody's the only one to have it. This style, as far as a very, very drinkable hazy IPA that is lower alcohol content and lower, I mean, for lack of a better word, oomph,
Mhm.
lower chutzpah and
Yeah.
all that stuff. It's like it's like they're trying to find something where you can drink a lot of them, because we've all talked about it before. It's like we're 1-2 hazies in, and you're like, oh man, it's very turbid, and you're kind of getting that haze gut, and it's almost a lot, and you just have to kind of take a break. Let's clear something up. Let's get a West Coast in there. But do you think that you could? So first question, Cody, do you think that you could drink a lot of these cans from Karl Strauss?
Absolutely. I think
Okay.
when summertime hits, these being in a cooler, like at a pool or at a beach
Yeah.
party or something, I think it would be an easy return visit under the sun, where a lot of hazy beers that are super thick and have that chew to them don't have that return factor, in my opinion, for a hot day, because you want something a little more refreshing. Like you said, you don't want to get that haze gut and feel weighed down, whether it really does or not. You kind of get that feeling.
Totally.
This having a little bit of a lightness to it, and I don't mean that in a bad way in any form at all. It just has a little bit more of a lightness to it than some hazy IPAs that have that viscosity to the actual mouthfeel of the beer. But I think this is another beer that could be like a gateway of gateway beers. Like someone who
Wow.
doesn't love IPAs or bitter beers or hop driven beers, I think trying one of these, it could actually bring you in very easily because it's not super bright or it's not super pine bomby. It is very tropical. The citrus is like has a kick to it that's a little bit like it's not like when you pour a hazy and there's not a big head on it. This actually pours with a little bit of the foam on the top. It's got some bubbles and some life to it. What was your second question?
The second thing, I mean, I just think about that style again. It's like this is something that Stone has definitely tried with Never Ending Haze, 4% hazy session IPA.
Mhm.
And I feel like that was a beer that people were stoked on, and you could probably drink a good amount of it, but it does have that lighter body to it. I guess my question to you is now that because you've had Never Ending Haze as well,
Mhm.
right, from Stone, and now you've had this beer from Carl. What do you think? It's a very crazy question to ask, but it's like, what do you think is missing? To have a beer that is drinkable and you could
Mhm.
have so many cans of it, like you're at a party and it's lower ABV, but then you still also don't want to classify it as it's lighter.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I feel like that's so hard to achieve both of those. But I guess my question is, do you even think that there's something out there, or are people going to keep trying for it? Because it
I think
seems like
people
they are.
I think people will keep going for this, and I really think that beer fans will continue to reach for them, especially as they get better and better, because you see a lot of people talking these days about wanting that like nutritional information on a beer, and that
So true. Yeah.
like a big blasted hazy IPA. What the hell?
Dude, you got some good mood lighting right now.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened, but light just
Goosebumps
went
with
off.
Cody
Yeah,
today.
this is like super creepy. All of a sudden, I got to do a little screenshot here because that's
Dude,
super
you
creepy.
could do freaking like start telling scary stories right now or something.
I don't know what just happened.
You should be on the Who
That's
Goes There podcast.
But I think that because people want that, for people who are listening, I'm not going to cut that out. For people who aren't listening, the light
yeah,
in my room just, I'm in pitch black all of a sudden, and I have
yeah.
zero idea why that just happened.
So we can see Cody's face just by the light of his computer right now.
Yeah,
Barely even see your beard, to be honest.
yeah, it's pretty creepy. But I'm gonna work through it. The show must go on. But
Keep going.
the people want these beers where they're lower calorie, lower ABV, more sessionable. I think people are. We saw for a while. We talked with Pizza Port about the whole session IPA where people were getting sick of it. But I think it's turning around, and people are wanting that lower ABV, and also the calorie count. People seem to find that very important on beer. I mean, I feel like when you go into drinking, if you're going to go out on a night and have 6 beers with your friends, you know what you're putting in your body. I feel like it shouldn't be a shock that it's like going to be a calorie boost. It's same as if you decide to eat an entire pizza. You know what you're getting into. But I did some research on these beers before we did the show about the low calorie beers, and one of the things that I was reading is that doing IPAs or hazy IPAs as a low calorie beer is difficult to do because you don't want to cut out all that mouthfeel, all the flavor, the ABV. There's a lot of aspects in there that people look for that you don't want to skimp on to make it a low calorie beer. But I think Karl Strauss, not just speaking about Stone, I'm just speaking about this beer because it's in front of me. I think they really did a good job on this. And I think people that like just refreshing beers will enjoy this. And then people who are looking for that lower calorie, lower ABV, sip by the pool situation will be fans of this as well. And this could also corner the market of like almost knocking seltzer off its throne a little bit.
Wow. That says a lot right there, dude. That's big.
Like, because I don't think any of us are huge seltzer fans. I mean, Tom, you're not reaching for seltzers, really, are you?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're pastry seltzers, then I'm in. Then I'm in.
Brownie seltzer.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I don't know if I've seen that yet. We have to cut again. We have a whole new idea.
Yeah,
We're gonna start homebrewing I'm gonna make some brownies. I'm gonna bring them over to the Cody's. And
Sounds like
Tom,
a plan.
you have to bring M&Ms.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. Well, those are the beers we're starting with. I think we all have a nice little, nice array to start the show.
Yeah,
Uh,
totally.
One of the things I was going to bring up before we get into some other topics is the fact that I have my first vaccine. You guys both have had both your two. I know we talked to Noah about when you first got your first, and I hadn't even been anywhere near it yet. Tom could be on the show yet. How has
Yeah.
your experience has been now that you guys have both had the two? And take us through, I mean, not a long time, obviously, just a little discussion on how you guys felt about that, and how you guys feel now knowing that you have both, and it's been a full year, and now we're in the position that we can feel a little more safe and a little more normal. Tom, you want to go first?
Oh, I guess I'll go first. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a peace of mind aspect to having it.
Sure.
But it's still a situation. We're still in a very it's still a thing, so we still have to be responsible. We still have to do the right things. We can't just walk around, we're ripping our masks off wherever we go now, and it's like some kind of statement like, "Oh, I'm vaccinated. I'm fine."
Mhm.
It's just like when we had to wear the masks because it was not about us. It's still not about us,
Mhm.
and I think people
Yeah.
need to remember that aspect of things. But it is nice to know that if I go to walk the dogs and I don't have my mask, I forgot my mask in the house. I don't necessarily have to go running back into the house in a panic.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah.
I still try to stay the hell away from people, but at least I don't have to go ducking behind cars or in bushes or anything.
Well, are you feeling
Totally.
now that you have that? Are you feeling more comfortable with? Because I think, and not to call you out on the spot or anything, but I know I you got to actually go have some beers on a patio, and that was probably your first time in. Oh, well, I guess you did snowboard too, right? But you're feeling more comfortable like doing somewhat normal daily life things, I would assume, and that's got to feel great.
A little bit. Yeah, it's been nice to kind of like dip my toes back into society.
Boop.
Hmm.
It's something where it's like we've been missing. I mean, all of us, we've talked about this before, but like all of us, Mike included, we got into this because obviously we were stoked on the product that the local brewers were putting out, but we also miss seeing our friends and like we miss having a beer with people and having that conversation with that random person at the bar that's also drinking the same West Coast IPA as us. It's like that was something that was so cool. And being able to see that happen at Stone and now more recently being able to see that happen at Virgin, like I thrive off of that. And
Mhm.
that's so cool, because it's like, oh, what are you drinking over there? Oh, I homebrew. I do this West Coast IPA. I use the same hops as XYZ beer, whatever. Oh, no way. I've been wanting to try somebody's homebrew. It's like, oh, best friends right there. It's just like that whole conversation is so cool, and I hear that happen over and over again. And it's something that we miss, and it's something that we're all looking forward to, and we're all taking the right steps. It's like
Mhm.
we all have been working throughout this entire pandemic like crazy, and now we're finally feeling a little bit better about being out in public as far as being vaccinated, or I guess halvesies we could
Have
say
these,
for
yeah.
Cody right now. But yeah, for me it's just I was stoked on it. It was really cool, and I haven't even texted my parents back yet tonight, but I just saw on our group chat with my brother out in Baltimore. My parents just got their shots today as well, which is
Oh,
really
nice.
cool.
Very
And
cool.
and I, like I said, I haven't even responded back yet, so I don't even know if it was because I think Johnson and Johnson has landed in some
Ah.
parts of San Diego, so I don't know if they were one and done, but
Mhm.
I do know that they wanted to get it and they got it, which is awesome. And yeah, for me, it's like I want to give a quick shout out. I hope that's okay, Cody,
Of
to
course.
the awesome people as far as all the volunteers and the amazing staff at the Del Mar Super Center, as far as for the vaccine area, because that was probably the smoothest interaction I've ever had with something that was so big.
Mhm.
And like I was in my car the entire time. I drove through the cones and popped in the little Del Mar area. It's like it was so easy,
Mhm.
and it was everyone was stoked. I pulled into the little paddock where all the cars were lined up and people were checking in and getting their vaccines, and they were bumping Justin Bieber, and I was like, you know what, this is a good place to hang out at. This is
Tom-
awesome.
I
Tom's,
would have
And
left.
yeah.
no, I mean,
Tom's like,
I
I don't know
mean,
if I want the vaccine that bad.
I mean, if we're being honest, Tom loves peaches. So come on,
I don't know what that is. Is that a Justin Bieber song?
get out of here, Tom. I swear I will end this call right now.
You know, I heard what song was playing on one of your videos on Instagram, and I was just beside myself with disappointment in you.
It wasn't that many curse words, was it?
Because I had the small Red Bull style can and you guys are drinking the full big pint cans, I understand that you guys probably aren't ready for the next beer yet, but I did open one already because I had a small can.
Yeah,
So I'll
Right
go ahead.
down.
You guys, clearly, I'm not expecting you to drink 16 ounces in a matter of like 10 minutes, but the small little Red Bull can's a little easier to go through. So my next beer of the night, I picked this up at Holiday over the weekend specifically to share tonight on the show. I got the Rip Current Brewing Impact Zone West Coast IPA Citra and Mosaic
Hell yeah.
12-ounce can. They're doing a lot of these 12-ounce can series with Rip Current. Every once in a while, a new beer comes out. I think the newest one just dropped today. It's a double dry hopped hazy IPA, actually, which just hit stores. So that's available now. But Impact Zone, I think this is a rebrew with the Citra and Mosaic, and it's just like Rip Current IPAs always are, just West Coast gold. You know what I mean?
Love it.
Can I ask one question? I know we don't want to like dwell on coronavirus talk all night long, but I did have one question for you guys.
Sure.
Now we are, as a society, hopefully making it to the other side of this thing.
Mhm.
I'm curious if you guys have given any thought to any behaviors of yours that might be changed now, like when we start going back out to bars and to restaurants. Like I know in my case, I'm going to be extremely reluctant to ever share a glass with anybody ever again.
That was going to be my first response to that question was if someone's like, do you want to try this? I'll be like, no. I'll go get my own. Thank you.
No. I just want to share this as you're disgusting. Keep your glass away from me.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, I feel like I've been like pretty adamant about keeping my hands clean and washed my whole life anyway, but like I feel like it's going to be a while before I'm not comfortable or I am comfortable without some sort of like sanitizer little packet in my pocket or like some sort of like handy wipes in my back pocket or something. Just like even touching door knobs and stuff moving forward, it's probably going to be a long time before I'm comfortable playing around with stuff like that. And even like going to a restaurant right now and like with shared forks and stuff, I could understand like if someone was like, you're crazy that bothers you. I understand that I'm probably crazy bothers me, but at the same time, with the world the way it is now, we can't share anything. We can't even share a room with somebody. Why am I going to be sharing forks and
You,
so
you, just,
cutlery with somebody?
you just have to do as good as it gets. A little Jack Nicholson action. Bring your own silverware wherever you go.
Right, BYOS, dude.
that would be
I mean,
so awesome.
no, you're like the bottle share guy. I mean, bottle shares often involve sharing of glasses and things like that, passing different things around.
True.
How are you feeling about it?
I mean, the biggest thing for me, dude, is that I just want people to be welcome and like stoked on when they're there. So it's like if there's anything that people aren't going to be excited about as far as like comfortable with, I'm not going to have that happen at all. So it's like I think the whole bottle share aspect, dude, it might be another 6 months to a year still, and
Mhm.
that's okay. I am more than all right with us easing back into the whole tasting room experience. We've talked about it as far as what we're doing at Virgin, the 25% capacity. We had a great Monday today as far as when we were popping, and we actually had the waitlist people.
Mhm.
We were literally waiting to get people into the tasting room. Now, of course, yeah, we could totally say, okay, just hang out in the corner and drink your beer. But no, like that's not what it's about because we don't know what everyone's going through as far as in the tasting room. It could have been somebody's first trip back out and they wanted to feel, comfortable, having a pint and being spaced far enough away from somebody else and having correct airflow and whatever it may be. But yeah, it's like I love the aspect of community. I want to share beer with people, but I also want people to be comfortable because if somebody has a bad experience, especially during this pandemic, at a local brewery or at some event or whatever, they're most likely not going to come back because of how heavy this pandemic has been. Like
Mhm.
this is not something to fuck with. It's not. It
Well,
really is
uh,
not.
and maybe a little bit of reminder too. And again, I'm just for the record not a doctor, but just because you're vaccinated, I mean, it doesn't mean we're bulletproof either. Like there's
Right.
still
Oh my
unknowns here,
gosh, yeah,
so everyone has to still be cool. And like you said,
yeah.
respect your community, the fellow members of your community by being cool
Mhm.
still.
No,
Absolutely. And
totally. I mean, that's big for me, Tom, where it's like you bring that up. It's like, and I feel like we've probably all had to deal with that, where it's like, yes, I go into Virgin and I am completely vaccinated, and I have coworkers that have completely got their vaccines as well. And then I have guests that come in and they're kind of, given a hard time about the mask. Oh, no, I got my vaccines. Well, I also have to keep an eye on everybody else in the tasting room. I'm not asking you to put your mask on just for me. I'm
Mhm.
not asking you to put your mask on just for you. I'm asking you to put it on for everybody else that's also in this tasting room. And the bathroom that you just walked into that
Mhm.
only has 3 stalls in it, or like whatever it may be. It's like it stinks, and I'm not trying to call out anybody specifically, but it
The
stinks
bathroom
that
stinks is what he means, ladies and gentlemen.
hey, we do a good job cleaning that. You know that, Cody.
That's true. I'm well aware.
Especially you, Cody. But it's just like that's it's just it's rough. It
Mhm.
totally is, and I know we're all dealing with it in a certain way, but yeah, I think to answer your question, Tom, I know this is a long
Finally.
rant and what's going on. Jeez, yeah, you're like Cody. Can you edit? I mean, whenever Noah talks, can you just do like a mute thing over it?
Just
That'd be so funny. You introduce me at the beginning, and then throughout the entire podcast episode for tonight, it's just you and Tom back and forth. Wait, but I thought Noah was there.
no, I'm
No,
gonna
no.
do like what Brian Wilson did on Pet Sounds, just be a bunch
Yeah.
of dogs barking and bicycle bells and cowbells.
Too good. No, I miss the bottle share aspect, but I think the biggest thing for me is that yeah, sharing the glass is definitely something where it's like I'll pay the $2.50 for my own taster or whatever it is. But
I have a big roller over here, high roller.
yeah,
Watch out.
Absolutely.
I mean that's the price of a taster, right? I don't know. Maybe
I
maybe
don't know.
not.
It's
I think
been
it
a
depends on the
long
brewery.
It's been a while, yeah.
It's been
I'm
a
like
while
trying
since
to
I've
I'm
like,
trying
can
to
I
like
just buy a taster? Like,
yeah,
I'm just doing it in my own kitchen, so I don't know
yeah.
what they cost anymore.
I think I think the biggest thing for me is like I'm gonna probably I mean as far as like stuff that I used to do, it's like I'm gonna be probably less. I don't even know the best way to describe it, but it's like we want to go like introduce ourselves or talk to other people about like beer, but I'm gonna be more secluded. I guess is the best way to say that. I'm gonna go enjoy a beer, and I'm probably gonna stay by myself at my own table for a lot longer than I would have if I saw somebody else that might have an interest, maybe in the podcast, right?
Mhm.
Or might have an interest in, checking out a style of beer that I might be into or whatever. I just because I want to give everybody that, that comfortable aspect when they're visiting a tasting room. Because nowadays and moving forward, they might not want to have somebody randomly come up to them and ask them what they're drinking. You know what I mean?
Walk up
So
and
I
arm
don't
up
know.
to them.
I don't
Hey,
know.
how's it going, buddy?
That's and
Rubbing their
it's
back.
exactly yeah. I mean, hey, you never know. Touchy feely is my thing. So come on.
Hey, and Tom's a great hugger. And I'm sure it's been a year of not being able to hug his friends and see his friends, and I can't even imagine how that must feel.
Ooh,
Tom's an affectionate friend, and I don't mean that in a joking way. I mean that in a respect, all due respect. So I can imagine you can't wait to get back to seeing close friends, getting to hug people,
yeah.
chat with people, and share beers with people. So hopefully, we'll be now that we've all got that needle in our arm, we'll be closer to that than ever before.
Let's go.
One thing I did actually I forgot that I had this impact zone information written down on my notes here. The biggest thing I was going to bring up is looking at it. Uh, they say that they brew it with hazy IPA techniques, but it is West Coast style. That's all like late edition, right?
Well, hazy brewing techniques, I guess, would technically be talking about water profile that they're using.
Well, it says
So,
they want to maximize flavor and aroma of the hops with hazy IPA technique. So would that be a lot of late edition with the Mosaic and Citra?
yeah,
Less
totally.
pull of the oil, more of the aroma, more of the like late edition bitterness.
Yeah, most definitely.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. That's what I figured. But yeah, this is tasting great. I think if you see it, go pick it up.
That's rad.
When you guys are ready for another beer, let me know because I literally have like all small cans tonight. So I'm gonna
Oh, look at you.
I'll be moving quicker than you guys.
It seems like you planned ahead or something, Cody.
No, it just worked out that way to be honest. I do have a couple of big boys down here too.
Hey.
Couple of big boys. If you guys want, if you guys want to get squirrely, I'm ready. I'm
we
your
could
nut.
go nuts.
I'm
Oh,
your
damn. We both made nuts joke at the same time. Damn it.
Tom's annoyed by it. He doesn't. That was a bad joke.
I feel like that's so funny that we both tried
We
to
both
make a
went
nuts
nuts.
joke.
We
Yeah,
both
I
went
mean,
nuts.
come on, Tom. You're probably holding on to one of them right now. So go ahead. Let one fly.
Who's he talking to?
Well, do you guys want to hear about some others? Yeah, okay. You guys want to talk about some things that are going on in local community of beer? Because I do have some talking points if you guys want to get anything, unless you guys have any other questions or anything you guys want to bring up. This is a free form show.
It totally
No,
is. Yeah, Mr. Questions over here, Tom.
I thought it was a simple question. I didn't know we were going on
Tom hasn't been on in a while, so if there's
It's
anything
true.
that he wants to bring up tonight and talk about, I'm more than happy to give him the
Yeah.
floor.
You know, I ought
Air
to
it out,
know by
Tom.
now, but I sort of forget how much Noah loves to like pontificate from his chair. It's like classes in session. Take
Yeah.
note.
Hey, let's go.
we need to record this not to put out on iTunes for our listeners, but for us to listen back for the quiz on Friday.
That's right. Or I'm getting ready for my TED Talk. So
Oh, the TED Talk. There we go. The Noah Talk.
the Noah Talk.
They were recreating Dead Poet Society.
Well, if you guys don't have anything else specific to bring up, I'll jump into some of these talking points.
Woo.
You know what I've seen Dead Poet Society? Does he have any idea what I just referenced?
No, I do know
Does
about
he
it.
know
but
about it?
I do, but I should probably revisit it for being honest.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, been a while.
Will Smith is in it, and it's not a romantic comedy. So it's not on his Netflix list. You know what I mean?
Damn you.
That will never pop up on Watch Next. Can you imagine? Maybe they remake Dead Poet Society with Will Smith.
Oh boy.
Let's go. Come on. You know I'm down.
Green light. Get that money back. When I don't even need to hear anything else. Just green light. I don't even care who else is in the cast. He's going to be playing that role. Okay, let's do it. Noah's going to producer Noah over here. He's going to produce that whole thing. I have no idea what he's doing. Was he got a pan for gold river running through his house? Was he prospector Noah over here? What is going on? Just to see nothing but shoulder. Okay, so first thing I'm going to bring up to you guys, I'm going to bring this up real quick, and then we'll jump into the next beer if that's okay.
Do it.
First thing I want to bring up and share with you guys, I don't know if you guys saw this today. I talked to Tom before the show, and I don't think you had even seen this yet. But it's out there now in public. It has been announced officially. If you go to SanDiegoBeer.news, you can read all about it. It was officially announced today that fellow local beer podcaster Brian Beagle has actually officially announced that he is retiring from podcasting as of this week. He will no longer be a beer podcaster in San Diego. Did you guys hear about this already?
I did.
Okay.
End of the era.
Some big news. Yeah, end of an era. That's for sure.
Yeah, so in an open letter now available on SanDiegoBeer.news, Brian says he is leaving podcasting and beer blogging to focus on other goals in life beyond beer. So I wanted to bring that up, and I think that it goes without saying that we all wish him the best of luck as he moves on from his time as a local beer blogger and podcaster. We obviously wish him nothing but the best in his adventures in life. And you can read his entire letter as part of the Voice of San Diego Beer series on SanDiegoBeer.news now, so you can check that out. And again, best luck moving forward to Brian Beagle. He's been podcasting a very long time in San Diego, and he's retiring. His retirement is this week.
Yeah, I mean, nothing but the best for that dude. He was one of the first people I met when I started getting myself involved in the San Diego beer community, and
Yeah.
started up
So
my
true.
blog and everything like that. He's like one of the first guys to reach out. He was the first guy to reach out and kind of like welcome me into the fold and be supportive and encouraging, and I'll never forget that, and that still means the world to me. And I reached out to him today to talk to him after I read his post, and I'm excited for what he's got cooking for
Mhm.
future goals and stuff. Like he has some big stuff in going on.
Yeah,
So, all very encouraging.
absolutely.
It totally is. And I think for me, I mean, you guys already know this, but as far as like my background or my appearances on
Hmm.
San Diego Beer Podcast was actually, at a different beer
Hmm.
podcast than Beer Night in San Diego.
Yeah.
And it was with, Brian at first. And, we had talked and we had, discussed some new stuff that was coming out as far as Stone back when I was there, and we actually got to meet up and we got to record a couple different times, and it was always great. It was always awesome. It was always very enjoyable, and it was always a time where I could share, that love for independent craft beer with somebody else, and
Hmm.
that was what Brian was all about, which is really cool, and he still is about, and he's going to be about. I feel like probably until he, as long as he can, right?
Yeah,
Which is
I
awesome.
don't think that being in the beer podcast world is the only way to share your love and dedication to local
Yeah,
independent beer. I think that you can do that in any way. There's a lot of people out there that don't necessarily do blogging or photography or podcasts or
true.
YouTube videos that are huge advocates for local craft beer, and I think that he will continue to do so. But just wanted to send some well wishes his way and wish him nothing but the best in whatever he does moving forward. So you guys want to open another beer? I know Noah grabbed another can. I already went
I
through. I'm not doing.
I need to go grab one actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, I will do that. I mean, I think you were. I mean, that's perfect. Did Tom grab one already?
I have one sitting next to me, but I'm not quite ready yet.
Damn.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I can wait.
No, go grab one real
Are you
quick. That's all.
sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I
I'll
will.
go. I'll go.
We all got some new beers. Tom, I don't know if you're ready for a new beer
But
yet.
get the glass. I'm finishing this one
Okay,
up.
Noah, you want to start? Or you want me to start? Because I got something that could blow some minds. I don't know. I did tell Tom real quick off the air what I'm drinking.
I
I mean,
mean,
if
I've
Noah goes first, that would take care of 20 minutes right there. So I'll definitely be able to get my beer ready.
Well, either way, if I go
Oh,
first,
that's good.
he'll be second. So we'll go to you last no matter what. How about I just jump in, Noah? How about that?
You know what? Yes, that sounds perfect, Cody.
So I don't know how you, and I'm just going to be 100% honest as I go through these next two beers.
I'm
That-
excited.
I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna hide anything. I'm gonna be 100% blunt, and I'm gonna be 100% honest. These next two beers that I'm gonna drink on the show are from a brewery that we have not had on the show for, as Tom said, probably close to 8 years, maybe a little less than that. 6 years, 6 to 8 years.
A rather famous falling out, if you will.
Absolutely, it led to this brewery when we said goodbye to them on our show when they sold to Big Beer. Led to the creation of us talking about what indie beer was and why we did indie beer. This brewery has since been resold and is now independent again. And they actually dropped a couple beers, two 12-ounce cans for us to try. But since we're doing it remotely, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and bite the bullet, and I'm going to try these. And so I'm going to give them a whirl. And it's a brewery that we haven't had on in a very long time. They have regained their quote unquote independent status. So I think we're okay to jump in and drink them. And I'm just being honest. That's why we haven't had them on the show. When they sold out, we decided we wouldn't have them on. And now that they're back to an independent stance with new ownership, then they fit the bill for us to have them on. And I'm excited to give these a try. It's been a long time since I've tried anything from this brewery. So the first beer that I'm having is from Ballast Point Brewing. It is the Wee Gus. It's one of their newest, brand new releases. It's in 12-ounce cans. It's a hoppy lager. Their Instagram says, brilliantly clear and bone dry. Wee Gus is bright and spritzy hoppy lager full of hops with lemon, herbal, and floral aromas with a hint of black pepper. And then the next beer I'm going to have after we go through this one is a beer that they did called Big Gus. So it's Wee Gus and Big Gus. And the
Ooh,
logos
okay.
are two, like a small fish and a big fish. It fits their branding with the water on the can and everything. And Big
Most
Gus is a
definitely.
straight up IPA. So I have not had this before. Wee Gus, it's a hoppy lager.
We're all experiencing
Yeah.
it with you, Cody.
I gotta say, I would drink that.
Hell
I
yeah.
like that. Yeah, it's nice. It's very crisp. And I think that the just off the quick sip I just did, of course, um, their description of being very bright and spritzy with a lot of lemon and herbal, that's dead on. Absolutely dead on.
Wow.
If you love like a nice kind of like a very crispy with a lot of life to it and some lemon and sort of herbal qualities, Wee Gus is that. I just took the one quick sip. So as I go through, what any other tasting notes I get, I will absolutely be happy to share with you guys. But since we're doing this virtual, we can't really discuss it together. And since I just had one sip, I don't want to make you guys sit here while I dissect the entire damn beer.
I would like to see, just because I know the branding, you see Ballast Point beers in the store on shelves. Yes, I would like to see the can.
So there's the can. It's got this all water, and that's Wee Gus getting eaten by Big Gus, I think. So
Okay.
this is the small version of the Gus series, 4.2% in this hoppy lager, and I got to say, if you like crispy hoppy lagers, that's a drinkable, nice beer. I understand why people would pick this up and enjoy it. I think that it's a little.
That's huge, dude.
I think
Yeah.
it's a little light for what I would go for on like a hoppy lager. Just to be honest, the hops being pushed a smidge would be nice, but it's nice and crispy. There's a lot of floral. It's got a floral element that I'm actually enjoying, which is new for me, and
Yeah.
nice, bright, very effervescent citrus to it. So yeah, I would say that's a win right there, big time.
Heck yeah.
So
That's
no,
really cool, dude.
what have you got tonight for the second part of the show?
I was kind of thinking about, what to pop as far as other beers and other, breweries to showcase. And we've all had our kind of trips to the islands,
Yeah.
in our lives. And I know that there's been some stuff that's been happening at Kohala Brewery
Mm.
out there in Lahaina. So I have a very recently canned Talk Story Pale Ale from them.
Ooh.
So that's what I'm sipping on. As far as back of the can, it says a smooth, grainy, and slightly bready classic pale ale.
Mm.
This flavor matches beautifully with the citrus, tangerine flavors, and aromas of Chinook, Mosaic, Mandarin of Bavaria, and Citra hops. Locals in Hawaii love to chat, or what we say, talk story. This is what this beer truly represents: good time with friends and ohana.
Nice. Very
So
cool.
yeah, that's what I'm
Can I
sipping
say real
on.
quick? I know it's a Hawaiian thing, and I know it adds nothing to what's inside the can, but I absolutely love, like when I was out in Hawaii right before coronavirus really became like a big thing.
Yeah,
That sounds like I'm super heartless. That's not how I meant it at all. But before it was like affecting lives in California is basically what I meant by that. Um, the cans in Hawaii with those little ridges on the top,
yeah.
I wish every can in America was like that. I love
You like
that look.
that?
I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love that look. But I guess it's a Hawaii thing only.
It totally is. I remember actually asking them when I was at Kohala Brewery, which for me, I didn't pick this one up, but this was a mother-in-law. So
Mm.
thanks to Lynn for
Nice.
sure.
Very sweet.
But
Very cool.
but when I was actually there, I asked them about the same thing because it's very, I mean, holding it up to you guys right now, it's
Mhm.
very unique. It's very
Mhm.
special, right? And you feel like, man, did somebody do that with their teeth, or
Yeah,
what
what's going
happened?
on?
It's kind of weird. I think this is just honestly the type of can that goes out to the islands.
Mhm.
That's just what it always has been. And
Mhm.
it wasn't even, I just remember I asked the question, and the answer was very like, yeah, like that's just what's available. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't there wasn't some cool story behind it or whatever. But I remember talking with them as far as like ingredients, and I know that that was very hard as far as getting the ingredients out to the islands, because it's not like, you know, just because there's some fresh crop of, you know, mosaic hops
Mhm.
that have arrived and you purchased, that doesn't mean that it's going to get shipped out, you know, from the mainland to the islands of Hawaii. It's
Right.
like, no, that's going to have to come in on a huge crate
Mhm.
with everybody else's shit. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, so, and that could happen at any given time.
Mhm.
So I remember they were telling me, you know, on Maui, which is where Kohala is, it's like they have to really plan out brew days. They have to plan out schedules and, you know, what's going on for their brewery, because it's like, yeah, you might have a want for something to be released by, you know, April 21st, but unless you have all the ingredients to do so and you plan ahead, it's not going to happen. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I love the can as well, and it's definitely it's cool to see it and have some little bit of difference. I do wonder though, you know, it obviously says 12-ounce can right here, but what do you think, Cody? Do you
You
think
losing?
have
You talking like 11.6? Like
yeah, right,
where's
exactly.
the rest of my where's my other 4 ounces?
Yeah,
Point
should
4 ounces.
we might have to test it sometime, right?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, Tom's gonna need to come over with his beaker set. We're gonna need to do some
That's
weight
right.
measures.
He's like that scientist from the Muppets.
That's right.
Beaker.
Beaker. Well, how is the beer, by the way? Now that you're taking a sip of it.
That's right. Super enjoyable. It is very West Coast in its style,
Mhm.
and from what I found out is most of the brewers from Kohala have kind of come from San Diego, Thousand Oaks, just kind of
Mm,
California area.
nice.
So they kind of have that West Coast vibe already.
Mhm.
So they love showcasing Chinook and Citroen, you know, those classic C hops. Um, but this beer is so easy drinking at 5.1. It's just like I could drink so many of these pale ales throughout the day,
Mhm.
but it's got that you know, nice clarity to
Yeah,
it for
very,
sure,
very clear.
and it's a solid beer. I mean, I would say that this is on par with some of the West Coast pale ales that we see out here in San Diego for sure.
Very cool. It's very golden in color too, so they're probably not rocking a lot of that big Crystal 60 or whatever that makes those
Yeah,
some like classic West Coast pales would have a little bit more of a reddish color, some caramel color or
yeah,
caramel flavors, I mean.
no, totally for sure. I'm
And
stoked on it. So yeah,
we're
cool
we're
stuff.
like super East Coast to them.
Right? It's so true, huh?
I love geography jokes.
Exactly. Tom, what do you got going into this next part of the show?
I am drinking from the mystical land of Torrance, California.
Ooh.
Ooh, hold on.
Yeah.
It is Monday. Hold on. Are you messing with me or what's going on, Tom?
I don't know. Am I messing with him?
I don't know. I want to see.
I think it's legit.
Let's see. Let's see.
Smog City.
Nice.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, there are descriptors for this. It's I should say it's a West Coast IPA brewed with the Waimea, Simcoe, and Cascade. And their
Ooh.
description says solar wind shines forth with a full, round aroma of citrus, stone fruit, and berries. A
Mm,
dominant character of tangerine is bolstered by plum and mixed berry fruit to create a dance of delicate fruit character, supported by a balanced snap of bitterness that
Ah.
brings you in for more.
nice.
And it's pretty accurate. I've actually been drinking this for like a week or two now. I would keep buying more of it because
Oh,
it's
really?
really, really good.
Are you buying
Yeah,
full
Yeah.
four packs of that guy?
yeah, it's in 4 packs, and so
Cool.
it's to pick up. And this is their Smog Days IPA series, so it's
Mm.
kind of like their rotating IPA set. And pretty much all the beers in this set have been awesome. And I feel like Smog City has just been kicking some booty lately.
Nice. That's very cool.
I don't know if you
They've
guys
been.
saw my post about the quarantine machine they put out about a month ago.
Mhm.
That
That's
beer was
awesome.
killer.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I needed this for quarantine. I never would have left.
Yeah, why get a
Something you can
vaccine?
do
Just keep
anywhere.
shipping those shipping cases of that gray beer right to my house.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
No, Smoke City, a great brewery, and I think it's really cool that they seem to be doing well and increasing their distribution down here.
That's very cool. They've been one of those breweries that's kind of like sort of like, and I could be wrong, but they seem kind of like they were on that monkish level where it's like a brewer's brewery where like when people who are in the industry were going up to that area, they're like, we got to go to Smog City. We got to check out Smog City. And that's a good sign when people who are in the industry want to go to a place and check out their beers. That means you're getting quality.
So
Yeah,
true.
it's actually funny. The first time I ever went up there, I was stuck in horrific traffic on the 405 as is usual.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
every day.
what? I'm just gonna go. I'm in Torrance. I know there's some breweries close by. I'll get off the freeway and kind of find out where I'm at. And I went over to Monkish first, and
Mhm.
this is shortly before Monkish got like really big into like the hazies and the can releases and that stuff. This is when they were still doing a lot of Belgian style stuff. So
Yeah.
I went over there and had a really nice time sampling a lot of the Belgian style stuff. But then I looked at my phone, and Smog City was just a couple blocks away. I was like, well, I've never had any of their beer. I'll go over there too. And I went over there and had like the best time ever, just
Mhm.
by
Hell
myself,
yeah.
just chatting with random people getting off of work because it's in a very populated area of Torrance. People getting off work around 4 or 5 o'clock, going to the brewery to hang out, kick it, and like a really wonderful staff behind the bar to talk about all the beers with. And so they've been on my radar for a while, and I love that so much of their stuff's been coming down here in the last year or two.
It's
Hell
funny
yeah.
you say that about Smog City because there's a lot to be said about those quick instances. Like those, they say in Fight Club, like the single serving friend, where it's like I'm just a friend on an airplane, I never see the person again.
Right,
But
right.
those like single serving brewery visits where you stop in at a place, you never know if you'll be back there, but you want to give it a whirl. And your experience with Smog City is like the exact reason why I am in such a hardcore love with Central Coast Brewing.
Yeah.
Because I stopped in on a whim,
Hell yeah.
knowing that they had a beer that won gold at GABF and never had a beer from them before. Just saw that they had a pale ale. I was like, first of all, a pale ale gold GABF. Well, I need to try it. That sounds amazing. And it was the exact experience you're talking about. The people behind the bar, amazing. The place was completely dead because it was in the middle of the afternoon on like a Wednesday. But every once in a while, one guy would come in, then one girl would come in and sit alone, and they just wanted to chat. And it's like, oh, we come in here for a quick beer on our lunch break because we work like right down the corner, right around the corner or whatever. And
Nice.
it's like, this is such an amazing community space. People here just like want to be friendly. The beer is great. The people who work here are great. The clientele are so friendly. And it just built like this crazy love in my heart for Central Coast Brewing it just lasted it's lasted years. And I feel like that's probably similar to your situation with Smog City.
Yeah. Yes. I'll just say yes.
Got it. Okay.
I was going to try to elaborate it more, but no, we'll leave it right there.
Gotcha. Well, I do have some other things to get your guys' thoughts on if you guys want to dive into some of that while we drink these beers.
Uh-oh.
Bring it.
Okay, so late last week, I'm not sure if you guys know about this. I know Tom and I spoke a little bit beforehand about this. Noah, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but late last week, both local and not local beer fans took to social media to show their displeasure with a certain local brewery and one of their beer names, which has led to an official announcement that this brewery is now changing the name to a long-standing beer for good moving forward. Belching Beaver was under fire last week from social media people. They were receiving many messages about their beer name, Me So Honey, as people were saying the beer name needed to be changed as it was a play on words with racial undertones to the Asian community. In response to the growing number of hate crimes throughout America towards the Asian community, the beer will now be rebranded simply as Honey Blonde. Belching Beaver has said via social media, we've had this beer for 9 years. We never meant for it to be offensive or hurtful to anyone, and in light of the current environment, we have decided to change the name of the beer to Honey Blonde moving forward. It was posted and shared by local beer writer and advocate Beth Demon, and I actually share her sentiments as she said, and I quote, "It's never too late to do the right thing." So I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that. I know it's kind of probably new news.
No, jump in there, buddy.
I think the biggest thing for me is that, Belching Beavers, they're not really hiding anything.
Mm-hmm.
The logo has been more recently, adding some type of like comic like feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I feel like they kind of know that they've done some jokes as
Mhm.
far as for certain beer names and even the name of the brewery. I mean, that's just very true. I mean, that's just what I'm saying. Um, I think that, I mean, I couldn't say the last time that I ordered that beer, or
Mhm.
I didn't even know it was crazy popular. But
See, that's what blew my mind. I was like, that is like the big popular beer. They were saying that it's one of their more popular. I was like, really? With all the Deftones releases and stuff?
yeah, I
Like,
mean, that's what we've drank as of
yeah.
late.
I
It's
would think
like,
that their IPA game is where people, or their sour game, or like their peanut butter porter or chocolate, whatever the hell that is.
yeah,
That's got to
that's the
be,
main one. Yeah,
yeah. You think I didn't know that their honey blonde was like the number one, or not saying it's number one, but I didn't know it was that overly popular. Where they're like, it's going to be hard to rebrand this.
yeah.
People know it by name. Like, really?
I think, man, there's a lot of stuff happening in the world right now, and everyone's got to kind of think about what's going on. And they said it. This beer's been around for many, many years,
Hmm.
but you got to do what's right, and I think they did as far
Yeah.
as changing the name for sure. Why would when we're trying to provide some sense of community and welcoming vibes, and you want people to come in and enjoy your tasting room and enjoy your beer, why would you want them to be off put by
Mhm.
just the name of your beer? And we all know that Belgian Beaver brews great beers. I mean, how many times have they won great awards as far
They're
as for
out,
their
yeah,
styles?
they're like
Or
perennial Alpha King winners.
yeah, think about the Alpha King Awards. Yeah, exactly, totally. So it's like, that's, let the beer speak for itself, but also don't do the beer any wrongdoings, or don't give the beer any disadvantages by naming it something stupid.
Yeah.
Well, okay, speaking of, I do have a little bit of information
Oh,
to,
nice.
to share with the class. Apparently, Belgian Beaver ran a contest on their Facebook page to help rename the beer, and they announced earlier today what the new name for the beer would be. Did you have this, Cody?
I have not even seen this. No, this is brand new news to me.
All right, so I'll tell you what. I'll read the notable mentions, and then I'll read the winner. How about that?
Yeah, please do. Yeah,
Okay.
let's hear this.
All
Because
right,
I
we
have
got
a feeling that not to take away from what you're saying, but just going off what Noah said real quick, I'm not that surprised that a brewery that's named Belching Beaver doesn't necessarily have the most tact in regards to naming their beer. Is basically what I was going to say. So let's see if are they taking it seriously, or are they just going to make another joke beer name? Is basically what I'm curious about.
Well, I think they're taking it seriously, but I mean, they definitely are. It's a beer name. They're going in with puns. And I have no problem with puns.
No, absolutely not. Puns are they're great as long as they're not alienating as an entire community.
No, I think this is going to be much more. And I mean, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I think these are much more palatable for everyone.
Hmm.
All right, so our notable mentions include Honey Side Up,
Mm.
Misbehavin', Be Positive, BEE.
I like that one. That's good.
I kind of like that one too.
Yeah.
But the winner of this renaming the Honey Blonde is Must Be the Honey,
Okay.
which I mean, come on. I think we're all
Must be
thinking
the
of Mace
money.
right now.
What'd you say?
We're all thinking about the Mace song right now.
Yeah, must be the money.
Yeah,
Hmm.
little P Diddy in there. Come on.
Yeah, you know what? I don't hate that. I don't hate that. I think the B positive is funny. That's what I would have chosen.
I think all those names are perfect
Yeah,
compared to what
what it was.
what used to be on the labels.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's such a simple idea too. It's like, hey, you know what? Turn this over to our consumers. Be like, hey, why
Yeah.
don't you guys help us figure this out and
Mhm.
make a thing out of it? So I guess whoever came up with it, is going to get some kind of a award from them or some kind of prize.
Nice.
That's
Very
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool way to turn things around and put things on a be positive note.
Absolutely. And I mean, no disrespect. We're not trying to be disrespectful to anyone in particular, but
No.
I mean, if you do have a brewery named Belching Beaver, of course, and then you have brewery or beers named that might alienate some people, you can't be that shocked when people come out and say that there certain names or the title of your brewery might be slightly offensive. Like, you're clearly going in with that goal, and no disrespect to anybody that works there, no disrespect to any of the beers
Yeah.
they brew. just being 100% honest. I mean, you're gonna ruffle some feathers if you go in with some like sort of like blue level jokes. People are going to get their feathers ruffled. That's just the way. This is the nature of the world that we're in, and for better or worse, whatever. But I think that they did the right thing by changing that name. There were people that were feeling alienated. There were people that were feeling left out, and being made a mockery of. And I'm glad that they remedied it. I think that they deserve a little bit of applause for that, and that's very, very sweet. They're very, very not like, oh, so sweet, but like, oh, that's sweet. That it's cool they did that.
Like honey sweet, or what do you think?
Hey,
Cody?
now this guy talk about punnies. We're going in. We're going in.
Where the honeybees at?
I think Cody's in the name.
Beer
Honey
night, killer bees, way on the swarm. Beer night,
Hey,
we on the swarm.
Nice. That was good. I like that.
I like that. Cody's got to Wu-Tang it.
That's right. I want to hear some more things. I'm assuming you're not ready for another beer quite yet.
I mean, if you want me to be, Cody.
Let me read one more thing, and then maybe we'll take a quick little.
Cody.
We'll take a quick water room break, and then we'll come back and start wrapping up the show.
Quick
Let's do
note,
it.
I didn't know Noah was so submissive.
I mean, it's Cody. I mean, come on, Tom.
I got the. But just in time for baseball season. Baseball season opens this week. Everyone's excited. And I thought you guys would find this really cool. If you haven't seen it yet, I think you guys would think this is cool. I thought it was pretty sweet.
All right.
Mason Ale Works, good friends, Mason Ale Works. Shout out to them. They have announced a killer new collaboration beer, which will be hitting shelves this week. I'm super excited about this. Days of Sunshine, a hazy IPA, which was brewed with Padres starting pitcher Mike Clevenger, whose name is Sunshine. The beer clocks in at 6.5% ABV. It is brewed with Mosaic, Citra, Idaho 7, and Cascade. And Mike Clevenger has announced that he will be donating any portion of proceeds that he would get from this beer to the Barstool Sports Fund for Restaurant Relief, which is giving money to restaurants to stay open during the pandemic.
It's big.
So
now, I will say this though, Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Hoffman, he doesn't pitch for the Padres anymore.
No.
God.
It's been dude's already like been voted into the Hall of Fame, so it's been a little while.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay.
Choose your words carefully here, buddy.
I'm just double checking on some things.
But real quick, Mason has announced you can find this beer on shelves, and you can also order it on their website starting this week. So make sure you check that out. The label is really cool. It's got the Padres like Western Metal Building background with cool waves.
Rad.
And
That's
Mike
so
Clevenger is on. Mike Clevenger's got like long, like hippie hair and tattoos, and he's on there kind of like the Rat Fink dude, but with the long hair and a Padres hat. It's really, really cool art. And
so cool.
Speaking of people making art, beer can art into posters, that should be a poster. That'd be killer. So Mason, if you're listening, make some art of that because it's cool. But I'm excited. Padres season's right around the corner. Baseball season's right around the corner. Why not start off Padres season and baseball season with a beer brewed with a starting pitcher from the Padres? Let's give it a whirl.
Has Mike been on the Padres for a while, Cody?
No.
Oh, so he's a new
Very, very new.